Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back. It's me, and today we are discussing The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 12. This is just a handful now because we're dealing with different episodes and different seasons on top of me being like, The Mandalorian is in Season 3, but The Bad Batch is in Season 2. I'm trying to keep it together, y'all. But I come in good spirits because I'm once again pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this week's The Bad Batch. I would say it was a good episode, and maybe I'm being biased because I wanted Cross. You know, I didn't mean to have a favorite Bad Batch character. If it were me, I wouldn't have a favorite Bad Batch character at all. But here I am being like, I want an entire Crosshair series. Let's have that, but not really. So you guys know that's what I was waiting for, because we have just been deprived of Crosshair as if he has not even been a part of the Bad Batch. The entire series just forgotten about him, but I'm happy that he was back for his very own episode, just as I predicted. I did say episode 12 would be Crosshair's episode, and it would be a one-off just with him, because that just seems to be the way they're going with this season, and so fine. I think there will be some resolution towards the end of the season, but I'll get to that towards the end of this video. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the beginning of this episode, a little bit of the build up didn't really get to me because it kind of seemed like, I'm like, okay, the only thing that we can come up with on the Bad Batch is cargo rescue missions. Like, if I have to hear the word cargo one more time, I'm gonna, anyway. So I thought that it was going to be just another kind of rescue mission, but this time with a Crosshair skin instead of the rest of Clone Force 99. But as things progressed, I liked where they were going. I also really liked Mayday's character, and I liked that he was someone who, could give Crosshair a run for his money, because he stuck up to the Empire in a way that was different, right? He was like, around the commander or the officer, he was like, around here where I'm from, you have to earn your respect. So it wasn't necessarily like how the rest of his team would view the Empire, where it's like, no, they're bad, and it's evil and we're good. This guy was like Crosshair. He was like, I'm gonna work for the Empire, but I'm not gonna just, bow down to you just because that's what you want me to do. So I did like using Mayday as this, or this little episode as an arc towards, I guess what I would say would be Crosshair's redemption. We'll see about that, but I think what I really liked was that if this is a path to redemption, it's a path that makes sense for Crosshair specifically. And I like that the writers kind of identified that. They were like, if he doesn't align himself with someone like Tech or, Echo, like with his team, or even Omega, it makes sense that this would be the angle that got to him. Because even as we saw in the season finale for season 1, even after doing all that and rescuing his team, he was still kind of a good soldiers follow orders type of people. And so with Mayday challenged that. He was like, good soldiers follow orders, but for what? He's like, look at everything that we went through throughout the Clone Wars and now serving the Empire, and look at what they do to us. Look at how they treat us. Look at how much they value us. Spoiler alert, they don't. And so I like how that was able to help Crosshair put everything into perspective. Like, for him, maybe it's not about good versus evil, but it's definitely about respect. And Crosshair, at the end of the day, is going to want his respect. So, yeah, that was just a very emotionally moving scene with, maybe not to over-exaggerate, but I think it was a really well-done scene with Mayday dying and Crosshair kind of pleading like, hey, aren't you going to take him to a medic? Aren't you going to care for this guy who, has served you for so long? And then him seeing that, well, this is the true colors of the Empire. Took him long enough to see that, but it took the Empire degrading his own kind for him to see that. And I'm sure that's really going to put it into a broader perspective as this goes on. Well, I mean, it already, I think, hit home with him because he shot the officer. So Crosshair gets it. This is just his awakening. Now, though, we have some big questions because I was not expecting the ending to be what it was. Like, I really don't know what would happen. You were kind of wondering if Crosshair was going to die. And I'm like, nah, I was really wondering. I was like, are they gonna go that route? They really did lead me on there. Foolish of me. But I wasn't expecting him to end up in a lab. And I've been debating what that scene could mean and where he could be. I haven't been on Reddit, or I haven't looked at any discussions going on around that. But I'm wondering why he's being experimented on, because as far as the Empire goes, you know, these clones are expendable. They're worthless at this point, and they don't really see any value on keeping them around. So I don't even know why they would bother. He doesn't have his inhibitor chip. He deactivated that, took it out, whatever he had to do. So they can't reprogram him in that way. But again, it still makes me wonder, why would they even bother trying to do that with him in the first place? So if it's not the Empire, maybe somebody else got him. I don't know who, I don't know what, I don't know why. But the only outcome that I can maybe see happening out of this, if it is the Empire, or just, well, it could be anyone, is that the Bad Batch, the rest of his team, come and save him. Like, they cross paths, and whoever is behind Crosshair being in this lab strapped down, the Bad Batch will have to come and rescue him. And then now Crosshair owes his life to his team, and I wonder if that animosity will kind of once again open up the pathways towards redemption, towards him joining the team again, and, you know, eventually maybe working with them to combat the Empire. So yeah, I did really enjoy this episode, and I think also D. Bradley Baker was like, episode 12 was one of his favorites. It's kind of a turning point, so I'm glad that we got some good stuff out of this. And I guess the only sad thing is that, as far as I'm predicting this season and looking at the patterns of how these episodes go, I feel like we're gonna hit some filler in episodes 13 and 14. I don't see them. I think they've been too generous. They've given us too much information between these last two episodes, so they're gonna be like, all right, we gotta slow it down a bit. And so I'm assuming we might not get some resolution to the Crosshair stuff until episode 15, hopefully not 16. I'm assuming those are going to be back-to-back episodes, 15 and 16. So I think we're just going to have to just chill out for a minute, see where this goes. And you know what? If they do decide to have more lore building, more story building going forward with episodes 13 and 14, I will be surprised and I will be happy, but I'm just going to keep my expectations kind of in the middle for right now. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this discussion here, guys. Let me know what you thought about episode 12 down in the comments below, where you think this is gonna go for episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16. We've got some awesome stuff and a ton of other stuff that we've got to kind of wrap up from the other episodes as well. So it's going in a great direction. I'm enjoying the ride, I will admit. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. So please leave a like if you enjoyed this discussion, subscribe for more, and see you in the next video. Bye. It's the first time I blinked doing the peace sign.